I had promised myself, or I wanted to promise myself, that I would do the lives in the morning, because honestly, doing the lives at night was taking a toll on me. I have this fear of doing lives, but I'm finally doing them. I think I'm on day 18, and there's two functions for the live. One is to keep myself accountable, to like, not just that, but to remind myself every single day that I have to do something for the series. And you might think like, oh, that is the easiest thing to like remember what it is that is your main priority, but actually, like, on like, I feel like it's so easy to say like, oh, like, just ADHD, and like you can excuse so many things with ADHD, but like I think I try really hard, and maybe I'm delusional, and I don't, and I don't, but like, other people have also said, like, you work really hard. So and again, I don't know if they only see the side of me that does work really hard, but I do know that it is a disability for a reason, because you just, at certain things, you just do have to work a little bit harder. So going live every day for 5 minutes at least is not only me getting over the fear of posting things online. I really, there's so many things about the online world that I really appreciate and love. One of them is that, if you come, like, I was born and raised in Peru, and there is a, by the way, I do have meds for today, but I don't know how long I shall have meds for. So, because there's the shortage, so it's kind of like hunting down the meds. But anyway, I mean, I didn't have meds for like 8 days, and like it's fine. It's not the end of the world. It's just, that, it's just a little bit difficult to like 100% count on yourself. Like, there's just things that there might be a mistake, and that is you trying extremely hard accounts for like one mistake. You not trying at all accounts for like all sorts of mistakes. So anyway, yeah. So the point is to keep myself accountable, to make sure that this is my priority, to make sure, because sometimes I change to do another topic because it just seems more urgent. Someone else asked me to do it. It seems more interesting, or most of the time it's just the fear of also, oh, it won't be good enough. So yeah. So I remember when I wanted to become an actress, and I had wanted that since I was like 7 years old, and I was probably like 18, 19 maybe. And like I couldn't, I felt like it was too hard and I wouldn't be able to do it. But if I talked about it, I thought that the pressure of having other people know that I wanted to do this, and not wanting to appear like a fake person, like saying something that they won't do, I was giving myself the pressure to do something. And I don't know if that's the right way of doing it, but for quite a few months, if not a year, I was saying like, I want to move to London and I want to study acting. And finally I did. So I think in a way, not allowing myself to hide under like, oh yeah, one day I'll do this. This is very much like every day, 5 minutes, what have we done? So yesterday had a meeting with Maur. Maur is an incredible writer. I'm just very pleased because like, we really hadn't talked much. Like we both moved to LA to do a program at UCLA. She went there, I believe, to do screenwriting, and I was doing acting for screen, or acting for camera. And so our courses didn't meet up or anything, but and then quickly the pandemic started, but we kept in touch, just in like following on Instagram. And then suddenly she was like, one day I was like, oh, I'd love to read some of your work, because I generally love to read people's work. And then she sent me her stuff, and I've read a lot of stuff, and so like most of the time you just read it when you can. I mean, I try to make the time, a specific time, to like sit down and read it, but most of like, even if it's in a bus or like in a commute, like if you have the time to just sit down and write it. And then what I like to do is like have the PDF format, and then like I will highlight and write notes. And you know sometimes I just don't have the time to have like a whole section, so I'll just read it whenever I can, because if I wait till the time that I actually have the full amount of time, then probably I wouldn't be able to. And in this case, I remember I was walking my dog in the morning and I was like, okay, perfect time to start reading. I just couldn't put it down. And that hadn't happened to me, I think, ever when reading like a script. Um, and it was so much because that was the style of comedy that I loved so much and that I wish that I was capable of writing. Because when I tend to write, or when I write, I tend to go more like just like darker. So it's just so I'm just very grateful. So I had come up with like the story and the characters and what's going on, but then being able to meet up with her is just a treat. And so we're now working on the different character plot points, like kind of like what are their needs, what are their wants, and how do they begin and how do they end, like within the season. And that was just amazing because I feel like I know my core characters, but then we like basically because it's this book, the Thrive program, and so like the main character goes through like learning some of the exercises within this book, and the challenge is to know how are we going to tell this in a narrative, like scripted, fictionalized way that is entertaining. Therefore, I came up with a character of a guide, and it sort of morphed. And then yesterday we were able to get into the details of it, and I have to give credit to Mar for making that character much fleshier and way more interesting. So that was really beautiful. And I have to go to a meeting. I guess that's the pressure of doing the live in the morning, where you just have to do other things and you have to keep to your time. But that's what we did yesterday. There's a lot more to be figured out, but that's the journey we're on, and that's the purpose of the life. I'll see you tomorrow.